By the way, did you hear that? Did you see the scuttlebutt with old Joe Rogan and the debates?
I heard there's a
No,
possibility
I
that he's
saw.
going to host it or he's going to moderate. Is that right?
Well, he had one of his regulars on. This guy, I think his name's Tim Kennedy, and he's a former Navy SEAL, current. I don't know. I think he's currently he does shit for the government, but he's also an MMA fighter and yada yada yada. But he knows his shit when it comes to global affairs, foreign policy and such. And he just kind of stopped Joe, and he's like, if you could get Trump and Biden on here, would you host a 4-hour debate between the two? And Joe is like, no audience, just the three of us. It's like, yeah, I'd do that. I'd totally do that. Yeah, because I think we'd actually get some real answers if we could actually sit down and have a 4-hour conversation. He's like, I wouldn't cut him off. I'd let him talk. And now all of a sudden, then Trump, of course, retweets, I'm in. Let's do it.
Hey, man, you're talking about 21st century platforms and a guy who's as big as Rogan. And it's kind of like put up or shut up, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. If these guys are willing to do something like that, and no more, okay, you said you're in. You said you would do it. No more retracting. Now I don't know I'm assuming they could lock that facility down, right? You get Secret Service all over the place.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Joe, now that he's this far in, I don't think he expected it to get picked up quite as heavily as it did. I think he'd be willing to go wherever they put a bag over his head, throw him in Air Force One, secure location, just the three of them. Maybe Jamie in the corner running sound for him.
Right.
And I just feel like, I mean, it could be done, obviously. I mean, come on. What Joe Rogan versus, like, I don't know, Chris Wallace. Like, what's the difference? They're two people. Shake them down. No weapons. Okay. The only weapon they have is the wit of their mind and the words of their mouth. Like, let's hear it. I do feel like we'd get better answers out of a format like that than we will get out of any structured debate system where you have 1 minute to talk.
Here's, I think, my most important question about the whole thing. So, let's say we do this 4 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is like Joe and both of them definitely dosing on something at some point in time? Like, they're eating like an eighth of mushrooms, right? Or like a little bit of DMT, like something, right?
Dude, that would
for shits and giggles. I mean, dude, I feel like if we've reached presidential debate on podcast idiocracy level of government, then we might as well just fucking go for it.
I think so too. No, I'd like to hear, like, an eighth of mushrooms each. Everybody, Rogan included, which he would probably
everyone.
You guys just got done talking about how old and frail these guys were. Do you think their minds would be able to handle?
Yeah, it's natural, bro.
Right, my bad.
we weren't like triple stack of ecstasy. Here, go. Like some mushrooms. You're fine.
I seriously think that Trump could probably benefit from a hero's dose of mushrooms. To be honest with you, learn a little empathy,
a life-altering experience in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I don't think Joe would come back from it, and he'd probably be better off for it. His twilight years would be better served in some acid trip to nowhere than where it's going right now. Gosh, man. Yeah. Anyway, we've been on politics for a while.
I know. This isn't a news.
You started it.
This isn't a news podcast.
Don't get your news from us.